Hi. I know that it's been a little while, but I wanted to make a video today because the topic came up into my head, and I thought it would be an important topic to talk about because I think it's something that a lot of foreigners in Japan kind of struggle with, and that is the question of, do I want to stay in Japan forever? And obviously, forever doesn't mean, till the end of time. It means till, the end of my life, right? Um, and I honestly, personally, I'm not sure if I want to or not. And I think a lot of other foreigners feel the same way in that there's a lot of things they really like about Japan, but at the same time, there's things where they're like, I don't know if I want to deal with this for the rest of my life. So, what initially attracted me to Japan is not only anime and manga, which I used to be very interested in, but it was also just like the convenience of the country, the cleanliness, the reliable public transit, at least in big cities. Um, all of this stuff. When I first visited Japan, I was in high school, or actually middle school. I was like really amazed by this, and I was like, yeah, this seems like a place that I could live. And then I also had a really great study abroad experience in high school in Japan. And that kind of cemented that I wanted to live here, like for at least a while, maybe not forever, but at least, I don't know, 6 months or a year, which back then was like a long, long, long time. And fast forward, now I'm in my 20s and I'm living in Japan full time. So, yeah, and while a lot of the stuff that I really liked about it initially is still true, the public transportation, cleanliness, etc., there are some things that I didn't necessarily expect that made me at the very least at first, maybe like 1 or 2 years into living here, question like, do I really want to do this for the rest of my life? And I think one of the big ones is definitely that Japanese people are very introverted. And I know everyone kind of knows this if they know a little bit about Japan, is that you're probably not going to, like, if you just run into someone on the street, like, you're probably not going to strike up a conversation and, like, make friends with them. Like, if you bump into someone or something, you're probably just going to say sorry and move on. And so people are very insular and, um, at first, like, it didn't bother me, but then like as time passed, I was like, wow, this really is, the way it is here. And so I think also especially in Tokyo it's pretty bad. So I'll link my video up here about why I left Tokyo, but really anywhere in the country there is this to some degree. And so I think maybe like 2 years in I was really struggling with like, oh my god, do I really have to deal with this forever if I want to stay here? And at the time, too, I hadn't made as many friends, foreigner friends, let alone Japanese friends. So I was feeling pretty lonely. And though as time passed, I slowly started to make more foreign friends, which helped. And I also started to make some Japanese friends as well, even though, to be honest, I would say, like, maybe because of sort of the culture here, I do have Japanese friends, but I don't really have many close Japanese friends. I think maybe the exception is a few people that I actually met during study abroad in high school, like 10 years ago. So, but we don't actually talk that much either. So, anyway, um, yeah. So, like, I think it's harder to become a close friend with like a Japanese person. And I think, especially to people from cultures that are more, I guess, is gregarious the right word, outgoing, this is like really a shock. And it's like, it doesn't hit you at first because when you first come to the country, you don't really notice it right away. It's one of those things that kind of creeps up on you. And so as I started making friends, this feeling of like, oh my God, I need to talk to someone, anyone, like slowly went away or like slowly got better. Also, moving out of Tokyo also helped that. But I can't say it's not still there. And like sometimes I go to events that are like specifically for foreigners, and I'm like, oh wow, everyone here wants to talk to everyone. And it's like, wow, this is what I'm missing. This is how it could be if I was living in another country. um, besides Japan. And how would I say this? And I'm like so happy to be here. And I'm like, wow, at that moment, I just feel this need, like, I need to move. I need to move now, or something. And I'm like, wow. So, like, there's still this feeling in me of like, I need that, and it's like, it feels weird that I can only get that feeling from foreign people and not as much from the people who are like native here, who like actually live here, like that seems odd to me. And I don't know, it's just like strange. And it's like, I'm trying my best to um be outgoing and not like stereotype people or be like, oh, they're Japanese, so they would never talk to me or want to be friends with me. No, I'm open to anyone who's open to me. And so I do think some foreigners like kind of close themselves off. One, because of a language barrier, but two, because they assume that anyone who's Japanese will either be prejudiced toward them or will not want to interact because they're so shy and introverted. And I don't think that's always true. I think a lot of Japanese people are nervous sometimes to talk to foreigners, but in any case, I think it's better. I think one thing to do is to um, not stereotype people or like judge them before you actually met them. Um, but yeah, so anyway, that is sort of the question I'm grappling with of like, do I want to live in such an introverted society for the rest of my life? And I'm not saying I'm the hugest extrovert. Like, I like me time, but I also like when I want to be able to interact with friends. And it's weird to me that like the people I feel the most comfortable around are foreigners, when I feel like if I live in a country, I should be comfortable around the people who are from there, right? Like, that makes sense, right? I don't know. Yeah. So, but here's where the problem arises. The other problem is problem. The other side of it is I love Japanese culture. I love the aesthetics. I love the convenience. I love the cleanliness. I love all of it. And like, besides this one issue, like, and maybe a few others too, but mostly this one issue, I'm really happy here. Like, I'm content, and there's a lot of reasons why I really am happy here. And I'm definitely happier here than I was in America by a long shot. And I know one thing that no matter where I go in the future, I don't think I'm going to go back to America. That just doesn't seem viable. Not right now, but really not ever until they fix the entire system, until like healthcare and housing are affordable. Will that ever happen? I don't know. But in the meantime, I don't want to be subjected to that. So I decided to move to Japan. That's part of why I moved to Japan. Not only the culture, but the quality of life is honestly better. So there's a lot of things keeping me in Japan that I really love about it. And it makes me think like, if I move to a third country, not America or Japan, one, I might have to learn a new language depending on what country it is. But two, I'm not sure how good the public transportation or the social services or, the cleanliness in this new place are. Like, there might be a lot of things I like about the new place, but it might not be as high quality, so to speak, as Japan. And like, that's a consideration. Like, I like this quality of life. It's nice. Yeah. And the other problem is like, so far, I don't think I've found a third country that I'd really want to live in where everything just feels right. Now, granted, I have traveled a little bit, but I haven't traveled a lot. Like, I haven't been to like, definitely haven't been to the majority of countries in the world or anything. I'm no Drew Binsky or something, you know. Um, but I've been to a few other countries besides, Japan and America. And I don't know if I've found a place that I really love. And that's the other issue. It's like, if I want to leave Japan, I can't go back to America. I could, but I would hate it. Where do I go? I don't know where to go. And it's like, finding out where you want to go and live maybe long term takes a lot of travel, and travel takes free time and money, which I don't necessarily have right now. And hopefully, I'm good at saving money. I'll have it in the future. But in any case, it's like, it's not so easy to just pack up and like move to a new place, or like, you could, but you know what I mean? It's like, it takes a lot of planning and resources and all that. So it's like, finding that new place would take a lot of work. And I want to put the work in, I definitely do. But like, again, with what time and what money? And also, of course, if I happen to love a new country that does not speak English as its first language, I would want to learn the language of the place. Even if most people there speak English, I still am someone who, like, if I live in a place, I want to be able to speak the native language. Like, I'm going to look like an idiot eventually if I don't speak it. And I know people will be judging me, So I would want to learn whatever language the people there speak. And that is a lot of work. So it's like, that's a whole nother consideration of like, like I'd have to do that. That would take years. And like, also like work, like I mean, I worked a little bit in America, but not really as like a professional. I was working at restaurants mostly. So I mean, I would have to learn to work in a whole new country, and like, would my experience in Japan carry over? I'm not sure, yeah. So there's like all these considerations. And so I'm kind of going back and forth. And so what I've come to the conclusion of is that for now, I'm happy here. I really am. At least the next 5 years, probably 10, I'll probably be here. Um, but I'm not sure about the future. Like, there's a possibility that I'll move to a different country if I find a place I really like. And it's kind of, it almost makes me sad because, like, literally ever since middle school, I've been known as like the Japan girl. Like, I was a mega weeb in middle school and especially high school, and everyone knew like Ariel is going to move to Japan. She's learned Japanese since high school. Like, she's going to move to Japan, and I did move to Japan and I'm still here. So like, I feel like there's this expectation on me that like I'm supposed to stay in Japan forever because that's my destiny, right? That's where I'm supposed to be. And if I leave Japan and move to another country, I know in reality no one would really care. They probably wouldn't judge me or anything and probably be happy for me. But in my head I'm like, no, I can't go off track. I can't, you know what I mean, not be the person that I was destined to be, so to speak, or people expect me to be. And I don't know, in reality, I doubt anyone's going to care. So, yeah, that's just where my head is at when it comes to like what I want to do in the future. I'm not sure yet. For now, I'm happy here. I'm not ready to, I just moved into a new place. I'm not ready to make any big moves, but maybe in the future I'll go somewhere else. Not sure. All right, have a good one.